Live from the City of Angels, you are watching Midnight Movie Talk as we have one of the biggest shows ever. You can see it crawling at the bottom of your screen right now. It is Barbenheimer opening night. Two massive, with a capital M, theatrical films hitting the marketplace tonight across the country. The bigger of the two is Barbie, but we're not going to discount Oppenheimer. We'll discuss both as this hour progresses. Thanks for being here. If you've not given me a like, subscribe yet, do so right now. This is where I was moments ago at the Burbank 16, the number one AMC location on planet Earth. And here's how I know Barbie is going to go bonkers this weekend. Look at the crowd of people streaming into the 16. Armies of millennials and Gen Zers. These are younger audiences that you don't typically see there in those kind of numbers. And this is an event film, like a Harry Potter. You got people dressed up like Barbie. Everyone's got pink on. This is an event. This is a big deal for them, and packs of people are piling into the movie theater. And when you get these young audiences in like this on Barbie, you're talking about a massive cash situation. This is the best possible scenario for all the theatrical chains, including AMC, Regal, Cinemark, wherever you're going to the movies this weekend. Expect it to be really freaking busy. Check this out. I'm going to show you the opening weekends all time. We're going to try to figure out where Barbie is going to figure into this because it is going to be a big number. I'll give it to you in a second. Let's look. All time, Endgame. Number one, $357 million opening. Remember that weekend? Every single showing was sold out across the country. We'll never see that again. That was a once in a lifetime experience, okay? No Way Home, last time we had something that was close-ish, still 100 million off, 260 million. Infinity War, 257, go all the way down. Here's where I think we're going to put Barbie. We're going to put it somewhere down around number 15. Could it get on top of Star Wars Rise of Skywalker? Could it happen at 177 million? Let's do a sales check. We like to do that here because the sales are insane. You just saw the picture. You see the crowds out there. Go to any theater right now. You're going to see it. Here's the sales check. Those of you joining us for the first time on a Thursday night, our preview night, we love to look at sales of films about ready to go off, and here's this one at 850. This is right now live AMC Dolby. Of course, Barbie has this. It has the premium large format Dolby. They do not have IMAX. Oppenheimer has that, and Prime is going to, I think they're splitting it. I think in some cases, they're actually still giving it to Mission Impossible. We'll look at that in a second, but I do want to show you, look, this thing's sold out except for the front row, okay? Let's do another Barbie screening. Let's roll over to Universal, and let's check the 9 o'clock. It says almost full, and look, it's not almost full. It is full. There's not a seat. There's not a single seat in there at Universal at 9 o'clock, and that's just a regular screen. That's not PLF. All right, let's go to Century City, and then we'll give us our number here. Century City is right outside of Beverly Hills. By the way, if you haven't seen Barbie yet, there is a wonderful joke multiple times about Century City. And for those of us who live in LA, that joke is going to resonate a lot more than for those of you who are not from Los Angeles. Lots of Century City jokes. Look at that. There's 3 seats in the front. 3 seats, that's it. This film is going to do a massive number, guys. Here's our projector on it. You guys ready? $169 million. So that'll put it, when we look at the all-time openings, that'll put it right about top 20. Let's see where that would put it if we get to 169. That would get us to number 18, 19, right in line with Harry Potter's and the Deathly Hallows, Part 2, and Iron Man 3. That is something that we have not seen since No Way Home. And the thing that makes this weekend such a unique experience for theatrical is you have not one, but 2 huge films in the marketplace, and Oppenheimer is the other one. Now, it's a different demo, right? Barbie's got those young girls especially that are in for that. But it's not just that. I watched the crowd coming out of the Dolby, like the 4 o'clock show, and it was literally a little of everything. It's one of those demo films that's going to spread from 18 or younger when you get to the, matinees this weekend, and you drag it all the way across to 50, 60. It's going to be that film. Now, when you look at Oppenheimer, you're looking obviously at an older male white audience. That's Nolan's audience, right? And that's who was going in to IMAX at Burbank here tonight. Let's do a sales check of Oppenheimer, and place was packed, man. I've never seen that place that busy since pre-COVID. I mean, even No Way Home, it was only one film. I think the fact that we have Oppenheimer, you have Barbie, and you also have MI7 kicking around, and you forget about Sound of Freedom that just is at $100 million, guys. $100 million. Insane. Okay, so here's Oppenheimer. Let's do the 1030 IMAX, and that's one of the largest screens there at at Burbank. Here we go. Look at that. It is slammed. I mean, there's a few seats in the front. Everything else is sold. And I know that Universal is sold out like all weekend and into next week because it's one of the few places. Look, you can't even click on it. Do you see this? Because it's IMAX 70 millimeter. You guys see that? There's only like 15 locations doing this IMAX 70 millimeter. And I saw it there. That was the press screening the other night. By the way, if you missed my thoughts on Barbie or Oppenheimer, we can talk about that throughout the night, but it's available for you on the MMT page. I have videos and reaction streams for both of those. So anything you want to know, it's there. But look, you can't even click on these. It's completely sold out. I mean, every single seat is gone. Okay, even the 70 millimeter 1015. Let's check that. Look, that I think that's sold out. Hold on, why is this doing this? Sometimes it does this weird thing when you do that. It looks like it's sold out. It's crazy. I mean, this is as good as it gets for us. Those of us who love theatrical, and we do. This is, like Christmas tonight. MMT projector on Oppenheimer. I'm going to go 55. A lot of people have it at 60 or higher. The problem I have with Oppenheimer is we got a bunch of things in play here. Obviously, it's 3 hours. And it doesn't appeal to young people. It's not, cinephiles, but I'm talking about just people that would go see Barbie or not at. I know there's the Barbenheimer thing, but in general, other than the hardcore film fan, they don't want to see both those films. They're going to largely pick Barbie. That's why it's at 170 and I got Oppenheimer at 55. Now, if it gets to 60 or higher, that'll be fantastic. But listen, I don't know how we can put it there because you look at Dunkirk, right? Go back and look at Dunkirk from, was it 2017 now? It's been how many, 6 years now? My God. Opened with $50 million. That was PG-13. So you're telling me that Dunkirk back in 2017 opened with $50 million, and then I already have Oppenheimer ahead of that. I don't know if I really should have it there. What do you guys think? Come in with comments, and anything you want to talk about tonight, make sure that let's try to do super chats because producer Nate is like in and out. I think he's with us for a little bit, but I don't know how long. So if you do a super chat, I can handle it. It's easy. If not, then we might have a problem. Beantown Brandon, $5 super chat. Thank you, sir. 200 million plus. Book it for me. When you look at these sales, go back and look at it again. When you look at this crowd tonight, I mean, you guys, here's why this is so important, right? Let me click on the picture. Look at everybody in the picture. They're all like 20. It's an event for the millennials and the Gen Xers, Gen Zers, not the Gen Xers. Well, they'll go. Gen Zers. That's why this is going to be so big. Brandon, I wouldn't be surprised if it gets to 200 million. Honest to God, I wouldn't. I'm going to take it at 169, which is high for most people. Most people have it in the 150s. Initially I had this thing, maybe at 100 if we got lucky. It has really come on. It's captured the zeitgeist. This is a film that is in everyone's awareness bubble. And that does not happen often. We don't see that. We just don't see these kind of films come into the marketplace. And that is why I am so bullish on this. IMAX theaters have been sold out here in Jakarta since Wednesday till like next Monday for Oppenheimer. Because, listen, let's talk about Oppenheimer. It's a great point. When you talk about Oppenheimer and who it appeals to the most hardcore film fans out there. And if you are that kind of person, are you going to go see Oppenheimer in a regular screening? Hell No, you are going to go see it in IMAX. Many people will drive to go see it in IMAX 70 millimeter. That is why Universal sold out. People are probably flying in to see it at Universal. It's an event, right? We have 2 events this weekend. We have not had this happen in the marketplace since No Way Home, okay? But 2 films at the same time, you got to go way back, certainly before COVID, because most studios weren't giving you 2 great films at once because they were afraid what would happen to one of them. Now, what this tells us is the marketplace is here. It is ready. And if you give people compelling product, you're going to get the turnout that we're about to have this weekend for Barbenheimer. Both Barbie and Oppenheimer will clear $200 million easy for opening weekend. And you tell me theatrical isn't back with a bang. It is. Trust me, and it's going to be proven true this weekend. I want to mention throughout the hour, we got a bunch of stuff to talk about, not just Barbie and Oppenheimer and your reactions to it, but we're going to discuss throughout the weekend here on MMT. I'm going to do videos every morning with the updated numbers from Thursday night, from Friday, give you the weekend box office, tight videos, no live streams. Look for the videos, post them about no later than 10 o'clock in the morning. Quick analysis on it, and then of course the Sunday night show will be huge. Marvin, thank you for super chat. Movie going is in the culture. Thank you for what you do. Barbenheimer, baby. I mean, you know what, Marvin? It means a lot because you guys know. Listen, I'm not afraid to toot my own horn, right? I get that. I will fully wear that badge of honor. But you know that there's nobody, and I mean nobody, who has been more of a theatrical champion going back into COVID when everyone was like, theaters are over. No one's ever going again. You're going to kill somebody if you go to the fucking movies. All of those shitty human beings. I hope you all, I'm going to stop. If you were that person, you're a piece of garbage. I don't know how else to put it. We said, keep going. Keep theatrical alive. These are our cinematic cathedrals. We cannot let them go away. And we didn't because of you and what we do here at Midnight Movie Talk. We are only about theatrical product. If Netflix has a movie, I'm not watching it because it's not in theaters. If you don't have it at AMC, Regal, or Cinemark, we're not talking about it on Midnight Movie Talk. All we do is theatrical. We're the in and out of YouTube. All these other people are doing a million other things. We only make burgers. We only do theatrical. That's how it's forever going to be here, okay? Thanks for being here, by the way. I really appreciate it. Thank you for the super chat. Marvin. Any other comments? I think I still have producer Nate. Let's do it, Sadvik. Oppenheimer has 9 million Thursday, higher than Dunkirk's 5 million Thursday. It's a fantastic start. We don't know for sure. We'll get the number, but if that's, they can kind of have a gauge of 9. That is obviously looking good. And it is going to be sold out on all of the IMAX screens, okay? Certainly open weekend in the major cities. The problem and the issue for Oppenheimer is going to be over the long haul in the theaters that are not the PLFs, certainly the IMAX here with Oppenheimer. You lose those viewers who only want to see it on and in IMAX. And most films, like someone asked me earlier, do I need to see Barbie in Dolby? And I truthfully, no, you don't. There's no reason that you have to watch Barbie in Dolby. I love Dolby. I think it makes everything better. But if you watch Barbie here in Burbank, we have the AMC 6. It's a little smaller version of the AMC 16, underground. You take a little escalator down, and then you have theaters that hold like 100. I think the biggest one might be 100. And it's fine. You can watch Barbie there. It's not a movie you need to see in IMAX, in Dolby, and Prime. If you do, it's fine, but you don't need to. Now, Oppenheimer's a whole nother deal. I saw it IMAX 70 millimeter at Universal back on Monday. And after I saw it that way, there's really no other way to do it. It takes up every inch of that gigantic frame of the gigantic screen. And then you also have the graininess of that 70 millimeter. You can't beat it. I mean, that's how you do it. Aaliyah, per Janner, this is the guy he's really good on the Thursday night numbers. 19.5 tonight, 140, 155. That's for Barbie. Listen, I'm telling you, uh, first of all, these are early numbers. We're going to find out tomorrow, but I'm telling you, whatever the number is, you need to go up. This is a phenomenon. This is something you don't typically see. This is a zeitgeist catching moment. And when you get those, you're going to have a number that's going to pop that's even bigger. I think it's going to go above 155. I really do. Jacob, thank you for the super chat. Took leave to drive out here to LA for Oppenheimer and IMAX 70 million. Oh, good for you. Jacob, it's worth it. You know, if you can do that and you love movies as much as you guys do, and that's who watches MMT, and I appreciate every single one of you for growing the channel, and being here and discussing theatrical the way that we do, the smart business side of it is certainly go for it, man. That's fantastic. You know, you get one shot at it. I'm not as high on Oppenheimer as some. I think it's technically, you know, a masterpiece, right? I mean, of course it is. It's Nolan, and he's really refined everything. He gets better and better. The sound is there this time. You don't have that messed up dialogue buried beneath the score stuff. You can hear everything. But the problem is that the screenplay tries to do too much. It's overlong, and it's just so exposition, thank you, heavy, that you just say to yourself, my God, I just want to be just maybe a little more entertained and less having to like read a college course book. That's the issue, but you're going to love it. Jacob, from a filmmaking perspective, you're going to be blown away. Chris, thank you for the super chat. I don't see anything there, but I do appreciate that. Let's do this because I want to, you know, go right into this. I'm going to go off. I'm sorry, guys. I have to do it because I'm reading a lot of takes. And for those of you who see Oppenheimer and you like it, man, I am excited for you. I think no one's going to like downgrade the fact that you enjoy the film. There's nothing wrong with it. But the problem we have is that we have so many people that have no ability to exercise nuance in their reviews. So what they do is they call whatever the next film is a masterpiece, the best work by X. And the problem with doing Oppenheimer is it's a Nolan movie. How can you expect, when you look at the filmography of Christopher Nolan, you can't just throw out, it's the best film he's ever made. Because you are looking at, let's pull it up right now. When you look at the filmography of Christopher Nolan, I'll do it box office style. You look at this stuff, you look at, Tenet, okay. You know, listen, Tenet is kind of a mess, but it's a spectacular mess. Dunkirk, not his best work, but still, again, Nolan's strong. Interstellar. For me, Interstellar is his best film. Okay, guys. Here's the reason. Interstellar is light years stronger than Oppenheimer from an emotional resonance standpoint. It's no contest. I mean, if you put those two in a ring and you ask someone, measure the emotion that is garnered when you watch the film, you're going to say Interstellar just destroys it. And then you have the Dark Knight. Dark Knight Rises. Not as good as Dark Knight. You have Prestige, Memento. Oppenheimer's not his best film, guys. It's just not. And when you say that, what you're doing is you're signaling to the world that you don't know what the hell you're talking about. It's objective until it's subjective, and then it's back to objective. And let me tell you what I mean by that. You can be subjective about all this shit and say this is his best, but the problem is that when you look at the filmography of Christopher Nolan, you can't say that. It's just that simple. Aaliyah, Gen Z tends to only see films the first weekend. A family's turn against Barbie. Unfortunately, second week drop could be large. Interesting to observe. We'll find out. We're going to find out. But you know, listen, speaking of that, I had an article I want to pull up. It's going to be really quick. I don't want to do this long because I think that it's something that I don't even want to get into. But I got to do it because remember what we like to do. We like to show you all sides of things. So here is the article from Fox News. Sorry, I just stumbled upon it. Don't all everyone come after me. It's them saying the upcoming, now that it's out, Barbie film ignores the key demographic in favor of catering to a small percentage of the population, a faith-based film review site claimed. Well, of course it did. Listen, there are some things in Barbie that maybe the faith-based crowd will have an issue with, but I don't think that it's anything that is going to ruin the film. You don't need to say it's like the end of the world. I'm so tired of it's woke, it's terrible. Barbie has issues, but the issue is not the fact that it's woke. The issue with Barbie is that it's too preachy about the patriarchy. We get it. Make it new nuance. Make it more nuance. Just dial it back. We talk about this all the time. Just dial the level back from like a 10 to a 7, maybe even an 8. It's way up there, and I just want that number lower. A Tenet should have been a better film with a different lead actor. I agree with you, Schlacker, 100%. When you look at John David Washington, just is not a deep actor. He doesn't offer a lot of emotion. I think he's flat with some of his line reads. I think he's really good in Black Klansman, but when you get him in Tenet, just not the right guy for that film. I think if you flip it, and I know people are going to say, oh man, here comes Weber erasing the black man and putting them away. But think about this, honestly, just think. If you take Tenet and you flip it and you make it Robert Pattinson as the lead and John David Washington as the supporting, the film's better because Robert Pattinson is more interesting as an actor. It's not that he's white and John Davidson's black, guys. Don't even do that shit. Don't do it. You guys, listen, Robert Pattinson is way more interesting than John David Washington. He just is. John David Washington has some strengths I want to see him build on, but you go back and you look at, what was the freaking movie that we had from what's his name? David O. Russell last year. Oh, Amsterdam. I literally forgot the name of it. He's not good in that. John David Washington's very limited. He's a limited actor. And I'm just not a big fan. I want to see him in certain things. He's just not great in Tenet. I would argue Nolan's last great masterpiece was The Prestige, with Interstellar being a close second. The Prestige felt much more like a passion project and a great one at that. Bass Player 2011 iffy. Thank you, sir. Really appreciate the super chat. I default to Interstellar. Don't get me wrong. I mean, Prestige is there, Dark Knight, but Interstellar for me, because of the emotion of the father-daughter relationship, that's where that film is, where I access it at a level that takes me next level with Nolan. So that's why it's number one for me. I mean, it's but I understand Prestige is there for a lot of people. So that's a very good call. No one's going to suggest that's wrong. But I think that when you start putting Oppenheimer as number one, you're showing and you're telling the world that you really don't know what you're talking about and you haven't watched all of Nolan's films. And that's what we have. We have a lot of people that are young in the space that haven't watched the films. They don't have the history so they come in and they go, oh, this is like one of the first Nolan films. I said, oh, it's a masterpiece. This is not his first film. Okay, if this were his second film, his third film, and we didn't have the filmography that we have from Nolan, then maybe. But it's got issues with it. We mentioned overlong, expositional. The back 45 feels like torture. This is not a masterpiece. This is not his best film, guys. We can't do this stuff. We can't do it. I mean, you can do it, but I'm just telling you, you look like an idiot. I mean, you really do. You look stupid when you say that Oppenheimer's his best film. I'm just going to be honest. I'm sorry. If you say that, that's fine. I'm just going to tell you, you look dumb. I mean, that's just the reality of it. John Campia just put a video calling it Nolan. John Campia doesn't know shit about movies. He's fake. He doesn't really have the insight and the evaluation skill that you need. The fact that he's as big as he is baffling to me. He's not talented. He's just a guy who likes movies. He's not a talent. And listen, I'm sorry. I'm not saying I am. By the way, I'm not going to say that. I'm just going to tell you that not everybody is. I'm tired of everybody issuing their proclamations on film like they know what the fuck they're talking about. Campia, dude, you're an idiot. It's not his best film. I can attack one person here. It's not his best film. What are you doing? And by the way, for such a movie lover, why are you never going to see movies that are outside of something big? Why aren't you doing what I do and go see every movie, Campia? The man, the myth, the legend, who can't be bothered to watch small films to discuss things that are great this year, like Blackberry. Going back to, does he even watch Tar? Did he see Decision to Leave? Does he even know what Shoplifters is? Has he ever heard of Saint Maud? John Campea, get out of here, dude. He lives down the street too. You are a faux movie guy. Enjoy being that. Unbelievable. I didn't even know I'd do that. But seriously, I can't. I can't do it anymore with these people, especially him, the quote expert. Fitness with Julian. Well, I enjoyed Oppenheimer. Nolan could have cut. This is why the film is not great, isn't it? Well, no. Let me rewind that, please. It's not that it's flawed. It is great in so many aspects, but it's not, his best film, and it needs to cut 30 to 45 minutes. It's another example of a director saying, I'm going to put everything in there because you're not going to stop me. It happens all the time. I'm tired of talking about it. We're going to get it forever. Michael, I'm sorry. It's like, because whenever I read these takes that Oppenheimer is his best film, I just start to lose. I can't do it, man. I can't do it. Okay, here's the next topic. We'll do this one quick because it's not going to take long. MI7 is not doing big numbers, guys. When you look at this film and you look at the weekday numbers, this is going to be a big disappointment for Universal, and I'm very surprised, but I think we found the answer as to why. Okay, look here. This is the Monday, 5 million, Tuesday, 7, yesterday, 4. These are not good numbers for middle of the summer for a 4-quad movie. MI7 got gutted by Barbie and Oppenheimer. I didn't think that it would do the damage, those two films, on MI7. That is number one. Number two is, I think people are tired of big, frankly, brain sort of blockbuster. They just want to be more challenged. Look at China. China's like, we don't even want to see Mission Impossible anymore. They're like turning their nose up to everything that Hollywood puts out. They want something different. And I think we all do. And that's one of the reasons Barbie's going to do well. Oppenheimer is not a traditional film as far as turn your brain off. If you check your brain at the door for Oppenheimer, you're done. You're not going to be able to handle that film. So MI7's in trouble. It lost the PLF screens. It has maybe Prime, a couple of things, but it doesn't have IMAX or Dolby anymore. We'll see what happens second weekend. It could be, it's going to drop pretty big because of those two other films. There's still room in the marketplace for it, but this doesn't help either. Sound of Freedom's at $100 million, you guys. What the hell is happening? Sound of Freedom, a film that nobody expected to make even 50, maybe 25, 30. Is it 100? Now, there's people out there saying that they're packing these screens, that they're not full, they're buying the tickets, it's a money laundering situation. I can't speak to that. I'm only going to tell you that based on the numbers, it's at 100 million. And 100 million, that's what the box office tells me. And because this thing has been making the money it is, it's hurting films like Mission Impossible 7. Sound of Freedom hurt MI7. Barbie and Oppenheimer hurt MI7. Sound of Freedom is becoming its own little phenomenon. It's not a Barbie, but listen, at $100 million in 2 weeks, this is really impressive, and it points to Hollywood. You got to make these films for these people are out there. If you make the films, there's an audience for it, and Sound of Freedom did it. And I know YouTube, apparently, someone said YouTube is taking down videos of Sound of Freedom, like reviews. I'm like, what? Really? I don't understand what the problem is. It points out child trafficking, which I think we can all agree is an issue. It's real. Okay, they didn't make up child trafficking for a movie. It's a real thing, whether we want to admit it or not. Nobody wants to admit that it's a real thing for sure. But the fact that there's a film that discusses it, why are we not having that open conversation about it? Why are we downgrading it and dismissing it because it's by, Jim Caviezel and Mel Gibson and the right? Forget the right and the left, guys. Just be your own critical thinker. Don't be taking part in the hive mind. Don't be one of those people. Tell me that Oppenheimer's the best Nolan film. No, don't. Don't do that. Don't do that. Producer Nate, we got anything about Sound of Freedom? Anything? I'm going to go to another topic. I just want to double check with him. He's still here, Producer Nate. Martin, I knew Martin likes to come in after the videos are posted and then always post a comment. So I actually do enjoy the fact that Martin's here to discuss it live. This is the kind of thinking I don't want to have here, okay? I don't want to have this kind of thinking. Because even if I understand what you're getting at, This isn't how we go forward by saying the other side is a cult. We need to figure out that we're all human beings at the end of the day, and we need to stop labeling people as X, Y, and Z. You know, when we had the discussion about Tenet, and I said Robert Pattinson instead of John David Washington, it's not because he's white and one's black. It's because they're people, and I'm just evaluating them as actors. We need to stop pretending that everybody on the other side is evil and just be more open and allowing and accepting and not say this is a bunch of cult members that are making this movie big. Okay, let's not do that. Even if there's, I understand what you're getting at, Martin. It's like there are people that aren't in a cult that went to see it. Okay, all right, let's do this. Dune 2 moving to 2024. I called this. I want some, everybody credit, baby, on the stream. I didn't have time to go back and find it, but you guys know, someone come in the comments and they'll definitely tell me that it's true. I said that Warner Brothers was going to start moving films around, especially at Christmas, because they have too much going on. Because there's too many movies. They had Aquaman, Wonka, and The Color Purple. Well, guess what, guys? Now they're talking about moving a bunch of those out. Here we go. Look at this. This is coming down, exclusives from Variety. Dune 2 would be the biggest of the movers. And let me tell you why, if Dune 2 moves out of 2023 to 2024. Why would that be the biggest deal? Because Dune 2 is considered to be one of Oscars 2024's heavyweight films. When you look at the films that are expected to be big Oscar contenders across the board based on the damage that Dune 1 did, all the Oscars that film won, all the tech, this film is going to be right there. And when you go to awardsace.com, which is my website, you're going to see all of the awards films. In fact, I don't have Dune on here, and I'm glad I don't, because if it moves out, it's not going to be eligible. But that is why Dune moving is the biggest, of the films, because it is an Oscars contender across the board, especially in tech. And as the second half of what we assume to be the finale, even if there might be a Dune 3, as the second half, it can win Oscars, as we've seen with Return of the King. When you get that final film, you have a much better chance of landing Best Picture, Best Director, all that stuff. So look for it. If it moves, big trouble. Now, one of the reasons they're going to move is because the writer's strike and the actor's strike. They don't want to be having a film come out when they have to promote it, and they don't have the actors to do the job. You're looking at it this weekend. You have to look at all the video they shot before from Gosling, Robbie, and everybody else in Barbie and Oppenheimer, RDJ and Murphy. Everybody is on tape. It's done before. No one is out there this weekend promoting. You know what they'd probably do normally on a weekend like this? They'd have Greta and Margot and Ryan showing up at the Burbank 16, introducing the film. But because of the writer's strike, they're going to distance themselves from it. So if Dune 2 moves, and then also Color Purple moves out and Aquaman, if all of those move, listen, guys, Oscars are going to be a lot different, because Color Purple forget Aquaman, that's not an Oscar movie. But Color Purple's an Oscars movie. Dune 2 is an Oscars movie. If you move them out, it's trouble. John, what's your solution to the strike? The studio should cave in with the union demands. It's ridiculous. The greed studio executives command. We need more coverage, as deal is going to be a while. I think the deal's not going to be, I think it's going to come sooner than you think, because they have shows to shoot in August. That's when the ramp-up time starts for new television, episodic television. I think the deal's going to get done sooner than you think. The fact that no one's talking about it and they're saying there's no talk, that tells me that they almost have it already settled. I'm telling you, I'm the only person saying this. If it gets settled in like a couple weeks here in August, you heard it here first. But yeah, I don't know. Jen, I think they're remaking The Color Purple because it's a new take on it, right? It's Baz. Oh, what's Baz's last name? Not Baz Luhrmann, obviously. I got to look and see who the director is here. I'm just drawing a blank right now, but it's a different take on The Color Purple. And I think that is going to be, that's why people are interested in seeing what happens with that. But it's Color Purple. It's a remake. It's a new version. It's going to be an Oscar film. It has to be. Omega Swiper, stop. The future. I'm tired of the Apple Vision Pro. I don't want to live my life in the middle of, in this virtual reality bullshit. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. Show of the week. Zoe Rose Bryant for giving Barbie 5 stars for watching it and said it had no flaws. I have to look. I know who that is, but uh, 5 stars. It's not really a 5-star movie. I mean, I don't have a problem with you liking the film. I think it's got I told you before, guys, watch the stream. It's got more positives than negatives, but it's still not. It's got the problems it has are frustrating, very frustrating, as we said in the stream. I want to do this since let's take a. We've been so serious and all this. Let's take a minute and do the physique critique. Everybody, you guys ready? Okay, so here's the physique critique. Let me share. It's going to take me a second to set this up. Give me 1 second, everybody. Okay, let's see what we got here. I'm going to show you Ryan Gosling from Barbie. Those of you who have not seen it. Where the hell is it? Did I close it? No, here it is. Let me see if I can. Let's see if I can pop this up. There's Gosling. Can you guys see it? Ah, my stupid computer is bugging me. I've got too many windows open. That's what happens when you do a live show. You have about 1 billion windows open, and then you realize, oh, wait a second. I can't get it. Hold on 1 second. Let me put in Gosling, and let's put in Barbie shirtless, even though I spelled it completely wrong. Here he is. Let's do it. Here we go, guys. Here we go. Pop it up. God, what a nightmare sometimes. I got too many. I'm like, have you ever seen that video where guy has like 17 streams open? That's me. I literally have 17. I got to close some tabs. Okay, so here's Ryan Gosling from Barbie. If you haven't watched the Physique Critiques, where we talk about an actor and we say what he needs to work on and or what he does not need to work on. Ryan Gosling, truthfully, has, I would say, a perfect physique. I mean, he really does. He has a really solid chest. He's got a 6-pack, maybe more. He's got good traps. He's got good delts. He's got it all. So Ryan Gosling in Barbie is definitely bringing the heat. I mean, when you look at okay, let's go to this tab. Give me 1 second. Share this tab. I did it again. Gosling, when you go back and you look at Ryan Gosling from when he was when he's early on, he was not as big as he is now, and he hit the weights, and you really noticed it with Crazy Stupid Love. Here's a picture from him in Crazy Stupid Love. Hold on. Okay, here we go. This will work. Here we go. Do you guys see that? Look up in the corner. You got Gosling in Crazy Stupid Love, and you got him in Barbie. He's got even bigger abs. I mean, he's got more defined abs. By the way, because there's always a new person here, I whenever I do this, I have to do it, guys. I'm sorry. I honestly am very sorry for doing this, but I have to, because there's someone out there screaming, and you guys know I'm right. There's someone out there screaming right now going, who's this clown telling me what a physique critique is, right? You know that, right? There's a guy out there doing that, right? What are we going to do now, everybody? Producer Nate, can you hit me with a comment? What are we going to do now, everybody? What are we going to do after I just said that there's only one person who can run the physique critique on YouTube? Only one of us. There's only one of us. Does anybody know why? I'm now at a point where I just don't even care on the stream. I'm just going to do whatever I damn well want. Because some of us walk the walk and talk the fucking talk, baby. That's why. That's why we're able to do the physique critique, because I bring the heat, and I'm not. This is why we do the physique critique, because we're allowed. We can do it. Everybody else, like, imagine like Stuckman doing that. You'd be like, what? Chris Stuckman, dude. No, let's not have that. Let's not do that. But he looks great. He looks great. The blonde hair is a choice, but I think Ken has blonde hair, so I think you had to do it, right? Shady Spaghetti, you had Shady Spaghetti. You had to do it. You had to do it. All right, let's move the show along. Anything else, Producer Nate? Anything else? By the way, Producer Nate, he's on the East Coast. If you want to go to bed, I can handle the show. I'll just take it. It's all good. Oh, hold on, I missed that. Hit it again. Hit that again. Max Cone, don't do that. You're gonna get me in trouble. Don't do it. Don't do it. Okay, let's do this. Blue Beetle is dead, right? I mean, this film is toast. It's going to get squashed. When you look at, here I bring up Box Office Pro, who I think does a really good job for looking at box office. I like to read their stuff and just get a gist of what they're talking about, and then I'll do my own thing. But I like to see where they're coming down on this. But I can't even believe I'm looking at this number: $12 to $17 million for Blue Beetle. I mean, guys, this would be, on top of The Flash, the worst imaginable start for James Gunn and the DCU, whether it's part of the DCU or not, the worst possible beginning to a tenure at a studio than James Gunn and Peter Safran going 1-2, Flash, Blue Beetle, bombing. My God. Can you imagine? 15 million. I thought it could get to maybe 25. That means the tracking's just terrible. By the way, everybody, here comes the people, right? The people. You got to see Blue Beetle because it's representation. I don't have to see the movie because of representation. Don't tell me what I have to do. Don't come to me and tell me I have to see Blue Beetle because of representation. I'll see because I want to see it. I don't have to see anything because of whatever the, liberal mindset, essentially, a lot of that is. Don't sell me that I have to do something to support something. I'll support it because I want to see the movie and I believe in the film and I want to see film. That's it. I don't want to see it or go see it and tell me I have to see it because of representation. No, I don't. And no one does. Make a great movie. If Blue Beetle's great, then great. Doesn't matter its representation. It means nothing to the evaluation of the film. Not one thing. If you're evaluating Blue Beetle based on the fact that it's the first Hispanic superhero, you suck as a film evaluator. You're compromised. What are you doing, man? What the hell are you doing? You're not doing an objective job. Who cares? Blue Beetle's a superhero movie. It's Hispanic. Great. That's fine. Doesn't mean that we have to like the movie. Stop telling us that. No one, how about this, Tom? No one cares what Blue Beetle is. No one knows. No one cares. The trailer looks terrible. It's like the worst version of Iron Man I've ever seen. The same old shit. Shazam. I'm a superhero, and I can't believe I have powers. Oh my God, look at me soar to the heavens. Oh my God, I'm going to crash. What the fuck, guys? Do better. I don't care. I don't care that it's a Hispanic lead. I don't give a shit, says the white guy. I don't care if it's a white guy as Blue Beetle. The movie looks terrible. Who gives a shit? God, tell me, give me a like. You know I'm right. I'm right. All these people who they go, oh, Weber's going on, but he's right. Weber's right. Weber's right again. He's right about Oppenheimer not being his best film. He's right about Blue Beetle. Doesn't matter. It's the first Hispanic. It just matters. It's a movie. We don't evaluate movies based on the sex or the whatever of the director. We didn't go to Barbie and say it's good because there's a trans Barbie in it. We don't do that shit. We watch the movie and say the movie's good or it's bad, and these are the reasons why, not because it's so virtuous and it represents all the people on the planet. I don't fucking care. Give me a good movie. Give me a movie that moves. Give me a movie that brings the heat. Don't tell me that it's good because it's got the Rainbow Coalition involved. I don't give a shit. Nobody does, except for virtue signaling losers. By the way, we're not turning into a woke channel. This is the beauty of what we do, is that I can all of a sudden just go off on this and I don't care because I'm not woke or anti-woke. I'm tired of being told I have to like something for an agenda. No, I don't. The movie's good or it's bad. Stop telling me that it's good because it's directed by a woman. It's good because it's good. Shit. Oh, they're coming for me now, aren't they? Whatever. Like I give a shit. The Exorcist poster debut. This film, we're talking about bomb after bomb. You guys ready for the poster for David Gordon Green's The Exorcist? Here it is. What's the first thing you notice about the poster for The Exorcist? Anybody, please come in with the comments. Producer Nate, first person. What's the first thing you notice about The Exorcist? Believer? The hell is it called? Can't even read what it says under there. I don't even want, you guys know why I don't want to see it. The reason I don't want to see it is the first thing you should notice about the movie, the poster. Whose name is not on the poster? Exactly. David Gordon Green. Because Universal knows he made a shitty movie after he made another terrible film in Halloween Ends. We told you after watching Halloween Ends, I would fire David Gordon Green that moment. You're off the lot. You're not making The Exorcist. I don't care if you're halfway through. We're going to reshoot it. Halloween Ends is a deal killer, and you will never work for me ever again in this town. And the fact that they have The Exorcist, I feel bad for Universal. Universal, you really messed up by giving him this film. And you guys know the reason the film's, it's going to die. But here's the other poster, by the way. Only in theaters. This is the one they should put on streaming. Why are they putting Five Nights at Freddy's at streaming? This, from the sound of the test screens, this thing should be there. Also, I want to show you guys this. This is Saw X. I forgot that they were making another one. Weren't you guys like, really? There comes another Saw movie? I mean, what was the last one? It wasn't that bad, actually. It's one of the first movies that came out during the pandemic. It after we were told we were allowed to go back to theaters, they brought that one with Chris Rock. It was Saw Spiral. So Spiral came out, didn't do that well because people were still like, oh, if you go to the movies, you're going to die. You're going to kill everybody. If you go to the movies and you see Spiral, then you're going to be the real serial killer. Remember we did that shit? God, that was so lame. No account. Well, I don't, no, I'm not saying. Oh my God. Producer Nate, you're trying to get me angry. No, I don't care. I don't care that he's Hispanic. I just want to see a good film. A movie is not made better by the ethnicity of the people involved. The movie is good if it's good. Why? There's no other way to do this. When I watched Oppenheimer, I didn't think it was better or worse because the cast is 99% white. I just watched a movie, guys. Why do you have to make everything about race? I'm so tired of making everything about race. Because let me give you guys a big hint. When you get underneath the skin, we're all the same. We're a freaking human being. Why are we talking about race all the time? Stop doing it. If you're one of those people who discusses race ad nauseum, you are making the world a worse place. Thank you for your contribution to nothingness that you bring. Zero. You bring nothing to this world. Johnny, fresh out of the theater from Oppenheimer, thumbs up. I can see why you were mixed on the screenplay. I actually think telling the story is a more linear way might have been more dramatically effective. 100%. This is a story told. Go back and look at any story that's been told not linearly. You got 3 different strands you're trying to run through here, right? And because of that, you get lost. You get disoriented. You're like, where am I? I'm where am I in this timeline? Wait, okay, now we're going back to this one. Now, that is trying to overdo things. And I think Nolan is guilty of that, just like a lot of directors are. When you try to overdo things, you end up lessening your product. So I would say to Nolan, just make a normal movie. Make it linear. You can make it a little bit non-linear, but why do you have to make it difficult to follow? Okay, it is difficult to follow. Don't tell me it isn't. It is. It requires bandwidth. Like the bandwidth that was required for that film was like 90 percentile. Most films do not require a 90 percentile bandwidth, right? Your internet's about ready to crash. Like us here when we started the stream. Remember when the internet would just go dead? When you don't have good, that's like you trying to watch Oppenheimer when you don't have the internet at full on cable. What's the one? T1? What's better than that? Fiber optic. BB seen Oppenheimer in IMAX 70mm and more, and then Barbie at Alamo Drafthouse for dining lunch. That's awesome, BB. I love hearing that. Even if we don't love the films as much, or we like them, we like both films. But if we don't, I love the fact that you guys are going to the movies and you're going to do this and you're going to the theatrical. It's amazing. By the way, tonight's kit, I brought it back because it's the perfect kit for tonight, by the way. Thumbs up for this alone. Cerezo Osaka from the J League 2020. Check this out. Okay, you got the pink, You got the blue, so you've got an explosion of pink. So this is my Barbenheimer kit. Some love. This is thought out, guys. This is not just like random shit. Okay, well, the show is, but the football kits are not. They're meticulously planned since the very first second that I do like 5 minutes before I go on. Tucker, I'm missing out on something special I see in a regular theater. You're talking about which one? Okay, quickly. If you're seeing Oppenheimer, you need to see it in IMAX. No question. If you can do IMAX 70 millimeter, go for it. Although, you know what? If you have 70 millimeter and IMAX, oh man. If you have a big 70 millimeter screen, I'm going to see it again in 70 millimeter just because I want to do it by itself in 70 millimeter. I'll do that this weekend. I'll let you know, but I would say you need to see it definitely in PLF. Barbie, no. Barbie, you can go see at theater 16. You don't have to see it in theater in house 1, 2, or 3. You can see it in the smallest theater. Honest to God, it doesn't matter. That film is not. It's a big screen film, but you're not going to lose anything by not seeing it in the upcharge. You're not. It's just not going to. Mega Swiper, is there a Princess Barbie? There's all kinds of Barbies. There's the depressed Barbie. There's the transgender Barbie. There's the heavyset Barbie. That's what's interesting. Here's the thing I will say about Barbie. There's a couple things I want to bring back to Barbie I didn't have a chance to talk to you. Is when you look at Margot Robbie's friends, they're like, it feels like central casting. Like we need one of these, and then definitely one of those. And that's what we talk about when we talk about woke, right? I don't like using the word woke. I don't want to use it, but I use it because you guys know what I'm going to talk about when I say it. It's forced inclusion, where you look at something and you go, that's nice, she has these friends, but it looks like you specifically said, I need one of these. And because of that, then it takes you out of the film. And that's what I never want to do. If I ever make a film, which one day may happen, honest to God, I feel like I'd nail it. Oh God, everyone just screamed. But I promise you, there will be no forced inclusion. There will be natural, organic people in the film based on whether they work as an actor or not because of what they're, do they physically have what we want? Trust me, when you guys watch Barbie, you'll see what I'm talking about. She has one of everything. I'll watch it 70 millimeter, but it's booked till the next month. Oh my God. Euphoria, that sucks. It's because if you're going to go watch Oppenheimer, you need to see it in the upcharge, in the premium screen, 70 millimeter, the IMAX. You have to. Otherwise, like, there's no point. Because you're a film fan. If you're just like regular Joe Sixpack, right? Oh my God, he's like this co-star of the show. If you just have that dude, he doesn't even want to see the movie, but he doesn't care. I mean, he would just go see it in house number 5, whatever. He doesn't care. But you and I know that if we have one shot at watching Oppenheimer, you want to see it on the big screen, on the ways. And I got to see it in the ultimate format, right? IMAX and 70 millimeter. Okay, producer Nate is going to bed. He's on the East Coast, so I'm going to take over. What? Which one? Which one did I say? Oh, the wheelchair bar. We talked about this. We talked about it before. Martin, Martin, he's going to come in with a guy. This is why we watch MMT, because I'm going to say the reality of the situation. And that's what we're talking about, the wheelchair scene. It's not that we don't. Listen, you guys need to understand when we talk about this stuff. You don't hear me going, I don't want to see the girl in the wheelchair. I'm saying when you're watching the movie and they're all doing the dance and all of a sudden it's like, hey, here's the spotlight dance and here's the wheelchair and she does the spin and it goes on for like a minute, you go, okay, now we're just, as Menzel said the other night, it's a token situation, right? Here's our person in the wheelchair and look, we're featuring them. And I said this the other night, I have to say it again so everyone comes after me. My mother has to use a wheelchair for the vast majority of the time that she gets around. So trust me, I understand what that means. I am sensitive to that. But you guys understand what we're talking about. We're talking about the idea that when you have, like if we were going to cast, like, okay, so we have our little movie Twitter group over in Burbank here before we go to the movies. We have everyone's, the people that show up. Well, I know what they look like. I know what the people they are. So what if I'm going to cast it? I'm going to make them look like that. I'm not going to cast it to look like something different because I want it to be as accurate as possible. So Do you see what I'm saying? I feel like, why is this conversation so hard to have? Why can't we just have her have friends? Why does it have to feel like it's like we have to have one of this, one of that, one of this? When it feels that way, you are taken out of the film. It's the reality of it. It's the reality of it. It's not saying we don't want it. It's not like we're not saying we don't want it. Exactly. Thank you, Aaliyah. You get, and Leah, I actually, I really do value your opinions. I know that you are sensitive to that, and I think a lot of people are. It's how we discuss it, and I know that. I mean, it could be. It could be. It could be. I mean, the Oscar checklist now, you have to have this, that, and the other. I don't want to get into that now. As we get into award season, we'll do that for sure. People are saying, is Oppenheimer Oscar, you know, eligible for Best Picture? Let's discuss that Sunday, because we'll have a whole stream Sunday night that I don't have as much. We'll talk box office. But we don't have all these other things. We had a million other things. I want to make sure I didn't miss anything here. Come up on the hour, and I'm about exhausted because I've gone, as typical, gone through every damn thing possible and gone off on things I didn't expect to go off on. Sorry, guys. That's what happens on the show. Those of you who watch, is like, that's what it is. That's what it is. No, Leah, appreciate it. But I mean, I know it's hard, and people are like, here's the thing we do here a lot. We walk up to the line of, quote, being canceled, right? Where people go, well, Weber, but here's the reality of it. I'm going to explain this for the 100th time. I don't care what you guys think of me. And I don't mean you, I mean the people. I'm not going to bow down and worry about what they think. I'm going to do my own thing. And I'm not going to give a shit about what those people think of me or whatever it is, because I know that what I am doing and the way that I interact with the world might be a little bit strong at times, but I know that I'm generally, I think, a good human being. And when you know that, and you know that you're not like a crap human, and you're doing good things, and you're trying to make the world a better place, then you have a certain confidence in you, because you're not worried about what other people think. Because I don't care if someone says, well, you just said John David Washington should be supporting, and Pattinson should be lead for Tenet, therefore you're racist. Like, I don't, go ahead and say that. I don't care, because I know that that's not what I'm saying. So go ahead and say whatever you want. It's not going to do anything to me. I'm not going to even entertain that. We're not going to play that game. That's the thing. You guys don't understand. We're not playing the game. You can try, but let me explain something to you. You're not going to get me to alter how I think. And this whole hive mind mentality, it's never going to happen. Don't bother. There's things we don't even talk about here that I could go off on, and I frankly want to often, but it's one of those things where you just say, don't worry about what other people think of you. That's the number one thing I can tell you guys. All right, we'll go another few minutes. I'm going to roll out. I'm exhausted. It's been a long week. Now listen, I do want to mention again, before the stream goes off, favorite Premier team is going to be Wolverhampton, because I love the logo. I know that's so like generic. I am. You guys can tell I do not have a favorite squad or side or team. I have over 100 kits now in the closet. It's too many. I mean, I could literally in 1 hour. I probably should, for one show every 10 minutes. I'll switch into another kit. That'll be the theme of the night. I will literally take one off, step back in, and then get into the stream. You're like, my God. Actually, I could probably do 50 in 1 hour. I could probably do 50. That would be insane. That would probably that's probably good YouTubing. But we're gonna do streams, or I should say videos, on the box office tomorrow when we get the Thursday number. Quick, 2 minute, 3 minute. Where this thing's gonna go? Saturday morning, same thing, and then Sunday night we're back here. My brain's talk about bandwidth. My bandwidth is just about out, guys. It's just about out. Maybe there's a wheelchair Barbie, and it's a reference to that. No, I'm not. We're not saying there isn't. What I'm saying, what we're trying to say is that when you watch the film, and when you're taken out of the film because you feel like you're being pandered to, or you're checking boxes, or look at how virtuous I am, that's not good. And I'm telling you, when I watched the wheelchair scene, and many people are saying it here, that's the first thing I said. And here comes somebody, oh, you don't want it. No, I didn't say I didn't want the wheel. I didn't say that. I'm saying it feels forced. You guys know I'm right. I'm sorry, it's true. You know I'm right. You know I'm right. It doesn't mean you can't have it. It means it feels forced, and almost like, look at this. Look at this. Look. And if I were giving my notes for the film, I would definitely say you can have it, but I would cut it back and not make it so just like here it is. And then you're going to say we don't want to see someone in a wheelchair. You can't win with this conversation. I don't want to do it. You guys know what I'm talking about. We can't do it. We can't do it, man. I can't do this shit. I'm literally, no one laughed at the wheelchair Barbie. It was an odd silence. So that's what exactly. This is what we're talking about. It feels forced and inorganic, and that's not good. That's not good, guys. It's not good. It is. Let's end on this because I think let's end on a positive note. You come in the comments and discuss wheelchair Barbie. I can't do it anymore. I did it. I'm trying to explain it, but for some people they'll never get it. When you try to explain things to people and they don't want to even accept, like they want to in bad faith twist it and say you don't want to see a wheelchair person in the movie, then we can't do it. We can't do a discussion. You are incapable of meeting me at the ground I'm asking you to meet me on, and that's fine. Then we don't have time for that. Tom, let's end with this, and then we're going to roll out because I'm freaking exhausted. Good to see the movie business doing great this weekend. I completely agree, and the meme marketing is been next level. This is a rare weekend that we will not see anytime soon. When we come back on Sunday night for the live show, we'll have the videos, in the morning, but live show on Sunday, we're going to be talking about a $200 million weekend and two films that captured the zeitgeist through meme marketing, through kids being excited, through older folks going to Oppenheimer. This is everything we want for theatrical, which is the mission of MMT. 1, to see movies last forever, and 2, make movies better. Not like AMC, but literally go in and get rid of shit to make a film stronger. And I'll leave you with this. If you haven't seen Barbie, I'm going to tell you the number one thing I would do to that film has nothing to do with the wheelchair sequence. I would absolutely lob the front of that film off. Goodbye. It's gone. The girls playing with the dolls on the beach, the 2001, we're not doing that shit. It's gone. We're opening on Barbie Land. And I cannot, I'm going to address this more on Sunday. I cannot believe, honestly, it is beyond my comprehension that nobody at Warner Brothers, when they watched the final cut of Barbie and the test screenings and said, Greta, you got it in the trailer. It's not in the film. It's out. It's out of the film. We're not even going to discuss this. You're removing it. We're starting in Barbie Land. You can have the narrator. It's gone. The film is better. Give me a like. You know I'm right. I'm tired of doing this shit from my freaking place on a YouTube channel when I can make the studios millions of dollars and make their movies better, and they don't bother to listen and invite me to a test screening where I tell them to cut the front off of Barbie, get rid of it. It doesn't work. It drags the film down. Goodbye. It's over. No, I don't want it was fine for the trailer. It does not work in that movie. It is a fail of a beginning of a film. Boom. That's what we do here. I'm exhausted, guys. I'm going to literally fall over on the microphone. I'm so tired right now. But I want to say thank you guys for being here. Videos coming up. Short, tight box office videos next couple of nights. Check the channel. I'll do world premieres on them. So you can just, get the alert and it'll say premiering in a minute. And then just watch it. It'll be fun. It'll be short. It'll give us the numbers. And then we'll go with it on Sunday night back here live. From the City of Angels. Thank you, producer Nate. You rock tonight, even though you're sound asleep on the East Coast. I'm done here in Los Angeles. It's 1,000 degrees and I'm going to go try to stay cool and head to bed. Enjoy Barbenheimer this weekend. Get out there, support theatrical. What a event weekend it is. We don't get many of them. Enjoy. Peace out. See you back here live.